Welcome to Snow Software's podcast, The Indispensable CIO. Don't let the cloud cast a shadow over your role. The cloud is casting a long shadow. The majority of software and data you need will more than likely come from the cloud sooner or later. So the cloud is a reality for all of us. If you want to make the cloud work for you, now is the time to act. Any later may be too late, because today's revolution is tomorrow's new normal. Two aspects that make the cloud great are also its biggest pitfalls. Certainly, if you're a controller of technology budgets. First, by their nature, cloud technologies are designed to promote consumption. Vendors make it increasingly easy to launch new platforms and consume more services. This ease of use creates a major risk of wasteful overspend from unused software-as-a-service subscriptions, duplicate users, and zombie virtual machines forgotten and needlessly left running in public cloud environments. Second, the cloud makes it easier for business units to purchase and consume technology without IT being aware of it. Marketing or sales can go to a vendor site and pay for access to a snazzy piece of software without IT being any the wiser. That guy from pre-sales did a great demo, but did you know he ran it on a virtual machine running on AWS? You'll find out when you get the invoice, that's for sure. So the cloud potentially represents runaway costs that are outside of IT's purview. There is an avalanche of analysis on the cloud, but for now, I'd like you to consider just one piece of data, one forecast. Gartner believes business unit IT spending will increase to 50% of enterprise IT spending for individual enterprises, with a strong focus on, or aspiration for, digital business transformation. Other research backs up this finding. The cloud is changing what a CIO needs to do, radically changing, but the job description stays the same. If money is misspent on cloud software, the CIO will still be held to account. If any of the company's activity on the cloud takes it out of compliance, all eyes could be on the leader of IT. So IT leaders are increasingly frustrated by the lack of visibility into their cloud usage and spend. Let's start with optimization. Gartner estimates that organizations that have done little or no cloud cost optimization are overspending by 70% or more. You may want to take this figure with a pinch of salt, but how much of a pinch? Say it's just 60% or a mere 50%. As we're finding out more about the cloudscape, the service that's emerging as the most vulnerable to overspend is not software, but infrastructure. We are back to our keen co-worker from pre-sales who visits an office in Pasadena or Prague and spins off a virtual machine to wow his prospects with a demo. The demo goes well. The sale is in the bag, or almost. And the VM? Does it get taken down? Perhaps, but very likely not. And the first IT will hear of it is when the bill lands on his desk. So how does the IT leader justify the rapidly increasing monthly billing of infrastructure as a service environments? It is hard to quantify the overspend on cloud infrastructure, not least because the charging structure around infrastructure as a service is convoluted and opaque. That's no coincidence. If it was simple and transparent, you'd end up spending less, and the vendors wouldn't like that. Think of it this way. You know how much your virtual machines are costing you, but you don't know if this money is well spent, and vendors are unlikely to give you data on usage. Let's consider compliance. The cliché is that with the cloud, it should be impossible to be non-compliant, because compliance takes care of itself as you pay for what you use. Whereas with on-premise software, the vendors have to audit you to identify overuse, so they only have control after the fact. That is largely true as far as software as a service applications go. But let's take a look at infrastructure as a service and the licenses your teams utilize inside those VMs created in public clouds. Each VM likely has an Oracle database and a handful of different Microsoft licenses. Unless your team is utilizing a cloud service which provides those licenses, you are on the hook for ensuring you have complied with vendor agreements. The financial risk can be as significant as for an on-premise audit. Enough, I hear you say. I didn't want to depress you. I want this podcast to be a call to arms, because you are not powerless in this situation. If the cloud is casting a shadow over your role, don't let it. Use it as an opportunity. Remember, everyone is getting to grips with digital business transformation, not just you. Now more than ever, what business needs from IT is leadership. The roles of leader, influencer, enabler, they really should be second nature to the IT leader, because there is no activity in today's organizations that is not in some way underpinned by software. A CIO without complete and accurate data can't lead from the front. You need data about what cloud services your team is using and who's using them. As we saw earlier, don't look to the vendors for data on usage. Why would Microsoft and Amazon spill the beans on data that might save you money but would cost them? No, for full visibility, you'll have to fend for yourself. And whatever data you have, you will want a centralized view of it. One portal for each cloud application might seem workable, but what if you had 5 such apps? Or 10, 20, 50? No way. For a clear, actionable view of all your data, you will need a software asset management solution that is user-friendly and intuitive. You need what you have always needed: visibility. In a world run by software, the CIO has a vantage point that is unique within the company. Of course, you use this visibility to cut costs, to plan budgets, and to stay compliant, but it will also help you steer the business. Complete insight is impossible without a software asset management solution. It will be partial, incomplete, even misleading. You won't have insight, only hindsight. True, business units are taking more of a driving seat, but is that really such a bad thing? After all, they have the keenest understanding of their needs, but not, notably, what technology suits those needs. So let's get back to that word, enabler. It is crucial for the IT leader to assume their role as influencer over all technology usage and spend. He or she should allow room for business units to adopt new solutions and make productivity gains. So, let business units off the leash, but without loss of visibility of technology usage. A software asset management solution is uniquely positioned to ensure IT leaders can share control of technology purchase decisions while maintaining holistic visibility usage across the enterprise. That only leaves the small matter of making sure you pick the solution that is right for you. Visit snowsoftware.com. Thank you very much for listening.